right, here we go. We gotta be moving. We gotta be moving. We gotta be moving. Let's go. It's game time, fellas. Hey, here we go, fellas. Welcome to Omaha. Welcome to Omaha. Junebug, tell your kids, hey kid, I caught a touchdown in a championship game. Let's go. Plays like this change the game. Hey, listen, when I say I'm going to war with you, Cam, I'm going to war. Anything is possible in the indoor game, all right? It's a game of inches, though. Resilient, resilient, resilient. What are you gonna do? Hey, can we get Junebug in the end zone right here? You are the team that put that dynasty name in history.
Just won the triple threat.
Here we go. We got to be moving. We got to be moving. We got to be moving. Let's go. It's game time, fellas.
Hello, everybody. Happy Beefy Monday. It's the Omaha Beef Coaches Show. The regular season is underway. It's for real now. Todd, Walkenhorst, there's my good friend Jason Unger, and we're 1 week into the season. It was a good one for the Beef. Back to their winning ways to start the season. 41-18. Traveled down to Shreveport, Louisiana. And what a difference a week makes, right? Not going to say it was pretty. It was first week of the season, but it's a W. And that's all that matters. And there's still a lot of questions to answer. We're going to talk about that over the next hour. But,
a lot of questions.
But the answer to the big one is, can this team compete and still put some wins on the board?
Yeah. Well, they were able to exercise the demons that were, Sunday or more ago in that loss to Minneapolis. They were able to get back on the left side of the ledger with a win. It felt kind of like an easy win, but like you said, there's a lot to work on. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up, and the execution needs to get much better before Colorado comes to town on Saturday.
Plenty to work on. We're going to talk about that Week 1 victory. We're going to preview the upcoming Week 2. It's a home game. They're back at the Slaughterhouse against the Colorado Spartans, who are actually playing as we speak. We'll keep you up to date on that as well. It is the Omaha Beef Coaches Show. We are coming to you live from the beautiful Let It Fly Sports Bar, downtown Omaha, 10th and Capital District. We're here on Monday nights of games, weeks of games. That's this week, not next week.
Not next
week, so we're going to take a week off. We'll be back here in 2 weeks. So if you're in the area on Monday night, 6 to 7 o'clock or sometime around there, whenever we get around to it, let's just be honest. We start the show when we feel like it, right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So we'll get it. We'll finish up strong. We're going to take a quick time out. We'll come right back and talk about that Week 1 victory in Shreveport, Louisiana. It's Omaha Beef Coaches Show live from Let It Fly Sports Bar. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's Omaha Beef Coaches Show here from Let It Fly Sports Bar, downtown Omaha. The Omaha Beef, defending National Arena League champions. I know it is a rocky start. They had a little preseason, but you know what? Preseason doesn't count. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. We get it. You know, we know. Trust me. Everybody heard about it. Everybody thought about it. But we're on to the real games now. And Omaha traveled to beautiful Shreveport, Louisiana, take on the expansion Shreveport Rouxgaroux.
We like to say it's a beautiful time of the year in Shreveport.
Who says that?
That's what I say.
Oh, is that what you say?
That's what I say. I mean, it's the first week of Lent there, of course.
Oh, so it's you're getting off Mardi Gras. So
it's a huge week. They just celebrated Mardi Gras. I mean, almost a week ago now, but things might be getting back to normal.
Get a little hungover, getting your feet back underneath you.
They should be feeling better by now, but I mean, it's a big party down there, Todd. You never know. I mean,
it was a party on Saturday night as the Rouxgaroux kicked off their franchise against the defending National Arena League champion Omaha Beef. And let's just say Omaha went down, took care of business. That was goal number one. Let's talk about that win, 41-18. Omaha pretty much in control the entire game. Shreveport, they made a little vie to get back into it towards the end of the first half, beginning of the second half. But, when you look at the stats, you look at what happened, Omaha did what they needed to do. Is kind of ugly, but they scored the points, and the defense came up big when needed.
Yeah, the Beef were able to get out to a big lead. Shreveport scored right there before half. You're thinking, you never know what's going to happen here, but the defense made enough plays in that game. I think getting 3 turnovers made a big difference. Gave the offense a short field a number of times, which I think was a key to that game.
Well, not only did the defense give them the short field, Shreveport gave them a short field, quite often. Here's a team that didn't even have a kicker on their roster, and there's a couple times where it's 4th and long in their own end, and that comes back to bite you. We've seen that before. You've got a league where the teams are, trying to be professional and whatnot, and I'll just be honest, I'll get in trouble for it, but I've said it before in other leagues. You don't have a kicker on your roster, it's kind of hard to take you seriously as looking to compete as a professional football team.
Yeah, and when they tried to kick, it wasn't pretty. It set the Beef up, like we said, with short fields. The offense was able to do just enough, but we're still waiting to see what that offense is really going to look like.
Lorenzo Brown took the start. A couple of quarterbacks from him through the air, a couple on the ground. Jeff Mack, big day as well. We're going to take a look at some highlights here, I believe. We'll see if this works. Fingers crossed. I have trust in our producers here. Here we go.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interception by TDG, one of 3, I believe, by the Beef. He comes away with that pick in the end zone. This is going to be another interception, I believe, coming up here by Gray as he steps in front of a Rouxgaroux pass and tries to navigate his way to the end zone, but he's taken down.
He's got some bodies behind him.
Short. So the Beef
a quick
defense
handoff right
made
up
some
the
big
gut.
plays.
Touchdown!
The Rouxgaroux there getting on the board right before halftime. We kind
He's
of
got some
wondered
bodies
how
behind
the Beef
him.
would respond in
A
the
quick
second half.
handoff
and
right up the
they,
gut.
came
Touchdown!
out and played
He's
pretty
got some
well
bodies
in the
behind
second
him.
half. We're
A
going to
quick
see.
hand.
When you only have a couple highlights, we watch them 3 times.
Well, I mean, that was really one of the only highlights for the
Yeah, so
Rouxgaroux
you
right there. So you got to show it a couple of times. This is our good boy, our great running back, Mack, getting into the end zone for a touchdown. He had a couple of touchdowns on the day, Jeff Mack. He had a rushing touchdown there and a receiving touchdown later in the ball game. So we got to see him do his thing. Lorenzo Brown, you mentioned him. He gets in the end zone a couple of times. That's one of his rushing touchdowns. This is going to be an interesting play. The Rouxgaroux in their own end zone, get it out, they fumble, and they're lucky to recover this one. Somehow we thought the Beef Saturday night, Todd, got on top of that one, but the Rouxgaroux actually come out with the football there, so they're able to keep their drive alive. And then this is going to be Rock Rahman coming up with one of his 6 tackles on the night. The Beef, of course, missing Cam Hunt. Rock stepped in and made some big plays for the defense a number of times on Saturday night.
We were wondering about the offense after the preseason performance, but they found their way. I won't say that they are in midseason form yet, but Lorenzo Brown led the way, a couple rushing touchdowns, 2 through the air. Jeff Mack, he had 3, 1 reception and 2 on the ground. Marcus Gray, you talked about defensively, led the way with 10 tackles overall. He was all over. Talk about, we kind of break it down, the good, the bad, the ugly. Talk about the good that came out of week number 1, and obviously that's getting that, whether it is legitimate or not, that monkey off your back.
Yeah, and I mean, it's huge to get that first regular season win, and we haven't talked about it yet. Sioux City lost.
Yeah.
So when you're talk a little bit more about how the divisions work, that's a really big win and a huge loss for Sioux City because now you have essentially a 2-game advantage in that division at this point.
It's difficult, too, when you go into an expansion team. And it's difficult, obviously, your first game of the year.
Right.
You don't know a whole lot about them. You don't know about the personnel. You don't know about schemes, what they're going to do. And then we'll be honest, down there in Shreveport, it's a little shaky. It is brand new. There's some
they're figuring things out.
Some things they're figuring out. There's all the way through, the coaching on their side, game operations, officiating. I mean, there were some rules that maybe weren't quite enforced accurately. We saw throughout the game as well.
That's a kind way to put it.
But those are all things in the sport, that you have to overcome, get through, and Omaha did it. Didn't really let it bother them. It's very easy when you're playing a team that's not disciplined,
right,
or wants to get into a game like that, to lose your cool
on the road.
Everybody's going after you.
Yeah.
You're a defending champion 2 times in a row. On the road, like you said, hostile environment. But they passed that first test.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, they got the win. Like I said, the Sioux City loss, to Beaumont was a little bit of a surprise, I think, to all of us. So the Beef's sitting pretty well right now. After 1 game, into the regular season.
Let's talk about the bad. There may still be some questions. We'll talk to Coach Mike Tatum up here. We know that quarterback. He kind of talked about his philosophy. He didn't get to see his one of 3 quarterbacks in the preseason game. He got some action in the second half of the game here. We saw Brown out there. Still got to figure out, timing. I don't think it's a secret. He's going to admit not quite there yet.
Yeah.
You only get so much time with these guys. So it's again, want to make it a little bit prettier.
Yeah, the passing game, I think, was one of the most concerning things to me. There just didn't seem like there was that synergy between Brown and his receivers. I don't know. It just seemed like they were a beat off, and when you're playing indoor football, that timing is everything, and it just didn't seem to be there in that first game at Shreveport.
Let's talk about the ugly. Do you know what the ugly is? Special teams.
Yeah, oh yeah.
There's going to be some questions there. We have not seen game film. We barely saw the broadcast with what they put out in Shreveport. But, on paper and what we saw, kicking was a little there's a couple reasons for that, right?
Right.
We don't just jump and say it's the kicker. I mean, there's so many elements that go together. A lot of synergy, snap holes, whatever, line blocking, whatever, kickoff returns and whatnot.
Yeah.
Wherever it is, though, it's something that obviously Omaha's going to have to improve on.
Something needs to be addressed, and like you said, there's a lot of factors. We don't know all the ins and outs between the snapper, the holder, the kicker. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, but I'm wondering almost if it's a confidence issue. I mean, we know we've dealt with a lot of kickers in our time, broadcasting a lot of games, and it's a very fine line between, you know, having that confidence to be able to knock it through the uprights. And sometimes when things aren't going well, you lose the confidence. It starts getting into your head, and I'm wondering if that's kind of
Are you saying
what's going
kickers
on
are
with
head
shootout.
cases?
Yeah.
Are the kicker here? Can we talk about? No.
I don't know. But, I mean,
it's
you
like
know
a
what
golfer.
I mean. It's like a golfer.
You know, if
Kickers
you
and
don't have the
golfers,
timing, once it gets in your head,
they're
it's a
very
little...
similar. You know, they're so routine in what they do, and if something gets off, it's just really hard for them to get back into the right frame of mind.
We'll talk about it. At least they had a kicker.
True.
You know,
Good
it's a
point.
good start.
Good point.
Omaha victorious. They moved to 1-0. They stayed in first place in the, I believe they're in the National Division. I think I named them.
National
I should
Division.
know what they are.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, you
National
came up
Division,
with the names.
which is the West Side. And as you mentioned, division rival Sioux City. You know, you can't take those expansion teams for granted,
Yeah,
right?
wow.
They went down to Beaumont, Texas, and a game they're winning by 12 points at
Yeah,
one
they
point.
were up by 12.
But at the end of the day, come up with the L.
Yeah, and you wonder. And we were trying to watch both games Saturday night and try to keep an eye on what was going on. So you're wondering now. It's the first game, so you don't know a lot about Beaumont, the expansion team. We know a lot about Sioux City. They have a lot of guys back, obviously, and are figured. You know, they're going to figure into, you know, who's going to determine who's going to be the championship in the league this year. So is Beaumont better maybe than we thought they were, or is Sioux City?
How good did you think they were?
Well, again, we weren't really able to analyze the game the way we really needed to, but
Right.
I mean, I guess we'll find out.
Gonna start finding out.
Yeah.
7 teams in action this week. 2 going as we speak. Columbus Lions played against the Peach State Cats. That was a fill-in
Peach
game.
State Cats.
That was a fill-in game. Amarillo was on the schedule,
that's
didn't
right,
make it.
that's right.
85-0. Columbus cruises by them, so they get off to a good start on their side in a non-league game. But when we come back, we're going to bring DJ K-Dub in.
Yeah,
you know,
we gotta
he's
bring
got a
K-Dub
little
in.
action. He's our
Yeah.
third member of the crew. And then after that, we're going to talk to the head coach, Mike Tatum, review that epic win down in Shreveport, and then talk about the Colorado Spartans as they come into town. Keep it right here. We'll be right back. We're coming to you live from Let It Fly Sports Bar, Capital District, downtown Omaha. It's Omaha Beef Coaches Show right here from Let It Fly.
Back at Let It Fly Sports here in the Capital District, Omaha. Jason Unger joined by DJ K-Dub and
Robert Holcamp.
Robert Holcamp, one of the longtime Beef fans. And we're gonna talk about. Actually, I'm just gonna give it to you, and you can talk with Robert.
You
and
know,
we're
the
gonna get
biggest
a
thing
question.
is, of course, Robert's been around the game for a while, so I always like to
Yeah.
get some of the fans' perspective because we see what we see as people who follow the game a little deeper. But I know Robert follows along. Robert, what's one thing you kind of saw as a fan from game 1 to game 2 that was something that you really like to see happen?
Well, I want to congratulate the Omaha Beef and the fans and Coach Tatum for doing a great job from game 1 to game 2. I think the players bought in to what he coached them up from that first game.
Right.
And they bought in.
Yeah.
That's how we came up with it. It was pretty impressive. It was 20-plus points, right? 20-plus point victory. What I'd like to see is the offense kind of generate a little bit more. I bought in on the defense. I bought in. I think all the fans, the big question is, what are we going to do on offense to get that ball down the field a little more? Personally, I see the running game being a big factor.
Yeah.
Feed Mac. Get that passing game established. Moves. We got talent on the team to get the ball down the field.
Yeah.
Right now, that running game is strong.
Yeah, very strong. Robert, I want to pick a brain of a Beef fan because I want to feel the pulse. What was your feelings after that loss in that preseason game? I mean, I think it was just such a surprise to everybody the way that game turned out. How were you feeling after that game as a Beef fan?
You couldn't be anything but disappointed.
Right.
To go on a stretch? Is it the end of a dynasty? It's a preseason game.
There were a lot of people ready to overreact after that game, Robert.
There was. They came to play. That was their Super Bowl.
Sure.
It was a preseason game for us.
Correct.
We're 1-0.
Correct.
So I think from a true fan perspective, you're still 1-0 right now.
That's a good point.
Moving forward.
Well, Robert, they're about to bring Coach Tatum up here. What's one question possibly from the fan side that you're really looking to get out there and hope you get some answers?
Well, most importantly, how's Cam Hunt doing?
Right.
We know he's injured.
Yeah.
Is he going to be healthy on Saturday versus Colorado? Is he ready to go? And what's the injury report looking like coming in?
That's a good question. I think
Yeah,
that's
that's
something
important.
we really didn't. We touched
That's
a little
important.
bit last time where you guys talked to him about who was injured or who didn't get snaps. Now it's obviously going through the season and how we could keep these guys healthy. So
Yeah, I mean, obviously, health is a concern anytime you're talking about playing football. And, I mean, you've got a couple of games under your belt now. You're already missing one of your key guys. I mean, you hope, that his absence isn't an extended one. We're going to talk with Coach Tatum about that. We'll ask him that question. We'll get a feel for the overall injury picture, maybe see how the entire team's doing after a couple of games. We'll talk with them. DJ K-Dub, Robert, thank you for coming up here and spending some time with us. Todd's going to come back. We're going to bring in Coach Tatum. We're going to take a quick break. We are live from Let It Fly Sports Bar in the Capital District. Stay with us. It's the Omaha Beef Coaches Show.
All right, here we go. We got to be moving. We got to be moving. We got to be moving. Let's go. It's game time, fellas. Hey, here we go, fellas. Welcome to Welcome to Omaha.
Welcome back, Let Fly Sports Bar, Omaha Beef Coaches Show. We are talking about Omaha's 1-0 start as they defeated the Shreveport Rouxgaroux 41-18. Reminder, Omaha back in action. It will be Saturday night, 6:35 kickoff. It is at the Slaughterhouse, which is Liberty First Arena in Ralston, as the Colorado Spartans will be coming in for the first regular season game this year for the defending National Arena League champions. There's the aforementioned head coach, Mike Tatum. Welcome, and talk about your trip to Shreveport. It's nice this time of year, Mr. Unger says.
Beautiful there.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was very nice. You know, had a chance to kind of get some of that southern food.
Did you get some of that food while you were down there?
I definitely did, man. I had some catfish and I had some alligator, actually.
Really?
Yeah. And
Get some sweet tea?
Okay.
I did get sweet tea. Matter of fact, I still got sweet tea in my refrigerator.
That's the first time I started going south. I couldn't believe that sweet tea.
It's so
It's hard to
sweet.
beat, man. It's hard to
They
beat.
put the sweet in the sweet tea.
Yes,
That's
they
for
did.
sure.
Yeah.
Played a game too while you're down there, and we were talking about what a difference a week makes. Obviously, you talked about it. You were confident in your team going down there against a Shreveport team that you didn't know what we had, but you know, as expansion team, you had a pretty good idea. I think you got what you saw, or what you thought you were going to see down there.
Yeah.
Talk about your feelings. You got the W. That's what counts to start with.
I feel like Shreveport, I feel sorry for the next few teams that has to play that team. I feel like they played the game before, but wasn't quite grasping it fast enough with the elements and different things like that. It was like some hometown players, stuff like that, was happy to play at home, but like I said, man, they picked it up and then they kind of like dropped off. You know what I mean? The thing that I like about our team is, you know, they just continue to play. You know what I mean? Through the ups, through the downs. I mean, we're still learning.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
So last 5 minutes of the first half, first 5 minutes, second half, that's where Shreveport seemed to, you know, make a run at you and had some things going their way. Maybe picked up a little bit of the concepts at that point, I suppose. Took advantage of a couple of mistakes, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, so we have a lot. It's crazy that we still scored 41 points. I couldn't believe that. We scored 41 points, and we had empty drives. We had drives that we started inside the 10. We had drives that was momentum switching that we didn't capitalize on and still score 41. So, but still seeing some really, really, really good things, and then I've seen some really, really, really bad things. So that's scary to me.
Talk about jumping out to that lead and getting that lead. I know you want a fast start. I mean, you always talk about starting fast. You were able to get on top of them. They were able to score right before the end of the first half. But most of the first half, you seemed to be in control, even though, like you said, the offense sputtered here and there, and with a few drives in that first half.
It was okay, but defensive stops and offensive scores pretty much put teams away. I want to get to the point where we're getting our defensive stops and then we're putting teams away with the offense. You know, we're putting teams behind the 8 ball, the way they got to call plays, the way they got to, you know what I mean, design the game differently than what they prepared for. We were up 20-something to 6 or something like that. Just imagine we were up 26 or 27. If we get 28, if we get all our conversions. You know, play calling is very different when you're down 28 to 6.
I think, you know, obviously you're finding your legs with your offense. Not to take anything away from the defense, they played pretty well. But, I mean, you got a team that's giving you the short field and not doing a kicking game throughout the entire game. That obviously helps your offense out a little bit, too.
Yes. Definitely helps our offense out, man. I mean, we were able to use it like situational and just call some different plays and do some different things. You know, and just, I mean, for the players, I mean, see how they react to certain calls, you know, and different things like that.
So a week ago, you know, we had talked about the preseason game as far as evaluating personnel, and you kind of mentioned you didn't really get a chance to completely evaluate your personnel, especially at, let's say, the quarterback position. You got a chance to see a quarterback that you didn't have in your preseason.
Yeah.
Just talk about where you're at in that process right now after a regular season game now.
So the Minneapolis team, they played a heck of a game. The Minneapolis team played a heck of a game. I can't take anything from them. Like, they were prepared. Coaches had them prepared. You know, they had a game plan. They came in and they made history. I can't say anything about that. Congratulations. But as far as our team and evaluating, we were put in a position where our backs was against the wall really fast that we didn't expect to happen.
Right.
So we wasn't able to evaluate players as we had to change the game plan and try to then guys that was only supposed to play a certain amount of time, we had to switch their mindset back into game mode.
Sure.
Right.
And that was the toughest part about it. Bryce Holiday, he was not feeling well for the preseason game, or he would have got some plays to play. I wish he did get a couple plays in the preseason, so that way the reps that was in Louisiana wasn't his first ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Do want to get him more reps, getting more comfortable, getting back into the game and things like that. There's some really good things that he can do for us.
Coach, talk about, you played receiver. Talk about the synergy right now between your quarterback and your receivers, because Todd and I thought while we were watching the game, it's such a timing thing, and it's just like a beat off. It's just like it just isn't quite clicking. So talk about maybe some of the work that you guys need to do to make sure that passing game gets on point before the next game.
So we battled the injury bug. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead and call it what it is. We battled the injury bug during training camp and stuff like that. So a lot of the reps, as you can see from first game to second game, was a way off then. And then now they're getting a little bit better. And then next week we're going to be better. And, as the season goes on, we are going to get better. We're not going to regress. So we know what we have to work on, and those are things that we just really, really, really have to really work hard on.
Speaking of injuries, let's talk about where you're at just medically right now. Specifically, Cam
everybody's
Hunt is
healthy.
A big one, right?
Yeah,
everybody's healthy on the health sheet. I know. Again, going back to the Minneapolis game, players got a little more, hits and beat up a little bit more than maybe you would normally expect in that game. Just talk about how the health of the team is right now. Obviously, everybody's healthy, but to what extent?
The health of the team is good right now. Everybody was really, really banged up, had a couple days off, after the scrimmage or preseason game. So we gave them the day off, and that really helped. And then, we kind of, the way our schedules are set up, we were able to give them a little bit more rest. Because that's the biggest thing now. Yeah, we want you to go out and bang, 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 but there's no use of us bang, bang, banging, and we can't have you on the weekend. So now we're kind of managing it. Now it's more board talk. It's more things like that until these guys become 100% healthy. I'm into winning football games, not, pleasing other people by showing our players banging each other and making highlight films off practice.
Right. Will we see Cam Hunt Saturday?
You will not see Cam Hunt Saturday. The first game you will see Cam Hunt will be the Idaho game after our bye week.
Give that extra week.
Yeah, give him that extra week. Like I said, man, I'm into winning football games, but I'm not into putting players out there when they're not quite ready. Can Cam Hunt play this weekend? Yes, he can. Yes, he can. But as a team of our caliber and things that we like to do, our goal is the championship. The championship is not won between the first, second, third preseason game. They're not won at that time. It's, can you sustain throughout the whole season and be available?
We talked about the offense. Let's go to the other side of the ball. The defense only gave up 18 points, so obviously that's a good thing to go. We talked about, you're usually trying to keep that under, 21, 25 points.
Yes.
Offense is going to probably take care of the rest from there. But talk about what you saw. We saw some turnovers. We saw some interceptions. You saw a little bit of everything. You got to like that, but I know there's still some things to work on as well.
Yes, exactly. I think Coach Adam put those guys in great positions to make plays. And those guys were flying around. It's one of those things where good defense turns into a great offense, and it's like we have to help them out. They get 2-play drives, 3-play drives, and they get off the field. They're expecting a touchdown. Like I said, and then that makes the game planning different for that offense plan against our defense. But preseason, they were a little upset. First game of the season, they're like, we got you, coach. If we got to play more plays, we're going to play more plays. We do cardio every single day. 5, 10, 15 minutes, doesn't matter how long we do it. You are going to play 4 quarters with Omaha.
And that's an attitude and mindset.
Yes.
As much as anything.
Yes. Sure. And they don't quit. They don't quit. We know, and then we do situational. There's going to be times where you're going to be in a place where you're in a losing situation. You're going to be in a hostile environment. You know what I mean? Defense is going to give up a lot of points. Offense is not going to score a lot. Offense is going to score a lot, but you can't stop them. That's football. But now, how do we move forward? So I like the things that we have going on. I really do.
Talk about special teams. Obviously, there's some work to do there. We're not calling out anybody because we know there's a lot of pieces to it.
Yes.
But I'm going to just guess you weren't happy with it. Just talk about what you got to do there and what you want to do there.
Biggest thing is getting our kicker comfortable. All right, he didn't get a lot of kicks in the preseason, which he should have got quite a few of them to kind of get acclimated to kicking inside the smaller uprights. He's an NFL guy with a really, really, really strong leg.
Yeah.
So getting him them live reps in the game, those are reps that he need. I mean, I'm not really big on kicking field goals. I'm not. Like never, ever, 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 ever.
I know that.
Never, ever, ever, ever. But sat down with my kicker, talked to him. What would you like to see? How far back can I put you on the field? How confident are you in certain field goals and stuff like that? Can I count on you on game winning? And I gotta see that in his face. He's very confident.
Do you think it's a confidence thing right now?
No. I
It's
think
not a
it's
confidence.
so the first time we missed our blocks. I think the second time, I think we missed our blocks again. So it's just one of those things, is getting those guys, and we'll work on it a little bit more in practice this week and next week, but we'll work on the field goal because we shouldn't be getting kicks blocked.
We've talked about it before. You get down to your 21 players now, 25, and you got your 4 and you got guys injured, whatever. Finding those pieces then on special teams is still a little difficult sometimes.
That was the hardest thing this week.
Right.
Oh my goodness. I'm sitting here and I'm like, put him on. No, take him off. Put him on. Nah. And then you gotta find 8
You gotta
guys.
find that magic, and
If
you
it's-
gotta have the right, type of bodies.
And then
all that.
if it's kickoff,
Yeah,
they got to
talk
be able
about
to
that
stop.
on kickoff and coverage, where you're at on that too. I mean, that's obviously got some
They're-
work to do there too. It's all part of it.
And I don't care if anybody knows, man. You better get us there.
Yeah.
You better get us there. You better get us on kickoff. You better get us on kick return. You better get us on field goal return. Because 2 places you're not going to get us is offense and defense. That's all I'm going to say. Offense is going to be ready to score points. Defense is going to stop teams and give multiple stops, enough for us to win a game.
After 1 year of the nets are gone. It's back to the old indoor rules that the CIF, the IFL basically have. With touchbacks to 20 instead of the 25. Does that change anything there? I mean, does that? Do you think about not going for the return and just give them with your defense? Kick it long and give it. I mean, what's your attitude on that?
We're pros. We're going to kick the ball off. We're going to give you a chance. If we can't stop you, then we got to be making some changes. Like I said, we're 2 fastest in. We got to be 3 fastest in to win a championship. You got to win on all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams, in order to win championships. Because when it really matters is, later in the playoffs or later in the season when guys are getting really, really good and they know where their holes are. They know what teams are starting to do on kick returns. Now they're planning better. Now they know how they can block kicks. Now they know if they get into certain situations, what can they do differently, because this team has done the same thing all year. But we're doing the same thing here too.
Wrapping up this week's game, offensively, defensively, talk about a highlight player on each side of the ball.
Putting you on the spot.
And for me, it's not all the plays you making. I really like what Carell is doing for our offense.
Sure.
I really do. Second-year player, really, really, really confident. You know what I mean? He's becoming a leader. He's kind of just stepping into that role and just, he's
Player from an open tryout.
from an open tryout, man, and he's committed. He's committed. And he really, really, really likes. I got goosebumps. He really, really likes what he's doing.
And for a receiver, maybe when you're not getting the ball as often as you would like, to be able to stay in that mindset and be a professional, I mean, that says a lot.
But he gets it.
Yeah.
He gets it, and it's always communication and different things like that. Coach, I really like this, and I'm a player's coach. If you got ideas, let's talk about them. Don't tell me after the game. Tell me now, because I can understand what you're saying.
Let's look ahead to this Saturday. You're back at home for your first regular season home game. Colorado Spartans are the opponent. Team that brings back some, returning players from a year ago. A couple good games with them a year ago. Talk about what you know about them so far. They're actually playing as we speak, and looks like it's 14-12 with them on the goal line down.
Yes.
Right now.
I'm looking forward to playing Colorado. My defensive guy that I didn't talk about that. I'm sorry. Our defense, that's good. Our defense is playing really good, man. But I was very, 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 very surprised in the game that Marcus had.
Real good.
All over the field, 10 tackles total.
Oh, you kept track.
Well,
his interception.
Yeah, that as well.
Holy smoke! Holy smoke! And I mean, he should have had 2 picks. He should have had 2 picks. But like I said, man, just having him back is great. And like I said, Marcus should be player of the week this week. I don't think nobody's going to outplay him. I mean, but I'm biased. But Colorado will be ready to play Colorado this weekend. We definitely will, man. We'll do everything in our power just to prepare for the week. And, just make sure we're ready.
Colorado with a short week, 21-12 late first half in Wheeling. That's a little advantage. They're playing Monday night. They got some travel. They got to get that bus ride back here. But I know once you kick it off, all that's out the window.
Yeah, as a professional, that doesn't matter, man. Those boys are going to. I mean, that coach is going to have them ready, man. They're going to end this game as soon as the game is over. They're going to start preparing. They're going to start preparing tomorrow.
You guys.
Final thoughts before we let you go.
Appreciate you guys having me on, man. I'm really looking forward to Sparks
People
flying
watch
this
the show.
weekend.
You know that now too, right?
Oh my God! Virally, share, post. Thank you, everybody, for your support.
Appreciate you, Coach. We'll see you Saturday.
Thank you.
Good luck, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Coach Mike Tatum joining us on the Omaha Beef Coaches Show. We'll be right back and check in with what's going on here at Let It Fly Sports Bar and talk about the Colorado Spartans in next week's home game. When we come back, you're watching the Omaha Beef Coaches Show live from Let It Fly Sports Bar Monday nights of game week. So we'll be here 2 weeks from tonight, 6 and 7 o'clock.
All right, here we go. We got to be moving. We got to be moving. We got to be moving. Let's go. It's game time, fellas. Hey, here we go, fellas. Welcome to Omaha. Welcome to Omaha.
Welcome back. It's Omaha Beef Coaches Show with the head coach Mike Tatum. DJ K-Dub, you watch that? I mean, we all
Man.
Mike, I've done it with a lot of people, a lot of coaches, and actually Marvin Jones was pretty good too. He'd give us some pretty good insight, but Mike Tatum, I mean, he doesn't dodge anything, and sometimes shares a little much too, which we like.
The best part is just answering, right? And giving you, he's not the Belichick, right?
He's not the Belichick.
It might take a moment.
A Belichick coaching
For him to kind of get in that, but as every show with you guys, I feel every time it just gets more and more comfortable. You're getting a little more nuggets out of them.
Well, I mean, and this level, that's what it should be.
Yes.
We like that we give fans access, and see that. You get to see, we always talk about the stories of the players. We like meeting the players. That's what we love, the stuff you get to do. There's just so many great stories out there. We'd see these players that wouldn't be doing this otherwise, or get the chance to do it, or living out, even if this is the top for them. I mean, that's fantastic. So we enjoy doing that and enjoy doing that here.
For sure. Yeah.
Welcome back.
This is fun. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
First watch party was a success, I felt.
Yeah.
We worked through kinks, we got there.
Yeah, we had a good
It was
time.
good.
It was a good time.
It'd be nice if there was a broadcast we could put the watch in the watch party. That would help, but
Yeah.
we're working on that. I hear.
We'll work the kinks out, but
Good game going on in Wheeling. Spartans and Miners, 21-18. Looks like actually Colorado may have just got pick 6 and added to that, but that's the opponent coming up. Colorado, we know it, they did, so it's now 27-18 down there late in the second quarter. Colorado's a team that, they got some players. We've seen that last year as well. And short week, but
one of the most return teams, right? They have the most returners.
Have to say.
They have a few good additions, and of course, they're on the same thing as us of just trying to get in the mix because, of course, they started out behind. Mm-hmm. It isn't like they came out guns a-blazing, but now they're starting to get in that slow rotation, and we'll see what they bring to us next week.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to be back home. I mean, to see the fans at the slaughterhouse, that's going to be exciting for everybody. And I know you're going to try and get everyone fired up. Are we doing the tail? Boy, man, the weather.
Yeah,
it's all about the weather, right?
Weather coming up.
So we got hopefully the 3 hours ahead of game time, which would put us at 3:30. Yeah. You're more than welcome to join the Northwest parking lot, where you can bring your grill, bring your energy, and come out and have some fun. And of course, we'll be coming out there checking and starting to get things going. It's all about the weather, though, right? There's some crazy Nebraska weather. Wait that 15 minutes, it could change. But if you're that fan and you're looking for that tailgate, you can be a part of it. Come out that northwest corner out there. And if you don't know where it is, there's those signs above the doors. You can check that out, and that will kind of put you in the right area. It's on the back side of the building, if you didn't know.
I heard you're buying.
Yeah.
Should be a good time. Tailgating is back. We look forward to that. Yeah, we're crossing our fingers for this Saturday.
It is March.
But it is still March. We forget that sometimes. It's 83 degrees today or whatever. But we know that, I think the next home game after that, it's almost April. So you know how quick it turns. It's going to be a good time as we go pushing towards the summer.
Best part is just the weather has been cooperative. Obviously, we're in the 70s, 80s right now, which is totally nuts. As last week, we were in a blizzard warning.
Yeah, crazy.
But I feel the team's going to start getting – I just feel the atmosphere is just going to continue to rise. Obviously, that preseason loss, people turn their eyes sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. But once that starts getting going, you see the win, it's got to make you feel like you want to be back a part of it.
It was good to talk about for a week. It was definitely a red flag. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I don't think anybody said, oh, that's nice, that happened. But like you said, preseason, it's gone. 1-0 regular season. Huge game this week. Just talk about, you're around the players and a lot of fans. Just talk about their attitude coming back home now and playing for real.
Just even talking to the fellows when they came in here, you just see a vibe, a part of them where they feel like a little more confidence is gained, right? We have a very young team, 6 returners. Some of them, obviously, Cam Hunt was out. So to see the success happen when you're not even having your full squad, that shows that, one, the coaching staff has really tightened down the actual gameplay, but also the leaders started stepping up. Yeah. And it isn't all about the loud voice, the yelling. It could just be very simple, just we got to get back to that standards of who we are.
That's DJ K-Dub. He is everywhere. Everywhere I look, there he is. Every time I turn on the internet, he's popping up live, reporting from somewhere. He's at the watch parties. He's at the coaches' shows. He's bringing you during the week. We appreciate it. We will see you tailgating on Saturday. That starts at 3:30. We'll be inside the arena for kickoff at 6:35. We're going to come back, wrap it up. It's Omaha Beef Coaches Show coming to you live from Lead Fly Sports Bar in the Capital District. Final segment, Omaha Beef Coaches Show. Thanks for joining us, everybody that joined us here in person. best fans in the game. We see them everywhere. We saw them at the watch party. Had a good time on Saturday night. They show up wherever, and they're going to show up Saturday with the Cowbells, I'm sure. Beef fans love the Cowbells.
They do.
I'll just, I'm a broadcaster. You got the, but it does its job. That's for sure.
I mean, we had a good time. I mean, we were trying to follow along with the game the best that we could. We tried that for about half the first quarter, and then the playbook went out the window.
Yeah,
we started joking around. DJ K-Dub was spinning the tunes. I mean, it was
a good time.
It was fun, man. We had a good time.
Next watch party is like in 4 weeks, but we are, more importantly, at home. Everybody, some tickets still left as Omaha starts their defense of the National Arena League Championship. 2-time league champions. There's a winning streak, real games. It's going for, whatever right now. You want to be a part of that. And I will tell you right now that this will be one of the better games that Omaha's going to play this season as they host the Colorado Spartans. So you want to come check that out.
Yeah.
As they kick off at 6:35. Be there in person. And, I'm not going to make any predictions, but this should be a pretty close game.
I think it's going to be a really good game. Probably
closer game than we just saw.
A closer game than what we saw last Saturday. Colorado has some real dudes.
Real dudes.
They can play, and I think the Beef's performance. I think we're going to see a pretty marked improvement, especially on the offensive side of football.
And if you could get through that week, then you got your bye week, right? And then you can kind of reset some things with your offense. Definitely some special teams. There's some things to work on. You don't necessarily get a lot of time,
right,
to deal with those things. During your regular practices. So
that bye week is going to be huge.
If they could get there 2-0, it's going to be a big.
You got to be feeling really good if you go into that bye week at 2-0.
Kickoff is 6:35. You should be able to see that game all across the National Arena League Network. Jason Unger and myself will be bringing that to you, and we'll be coming on at 6:20 with pregame for that. But again, join us in person. It's the first home game. We look forward to seeing everybody at the Slaughterhouse, and we will be back here 2 weeks from tonight for the next Omaha Beef Coaches Show before Omaha takes on the Idaho Horsemen. Colorado Spartans, Idaho Horsemen. That'll be 2 weeks from tonight back here for the Coaches Show. 6 to 7 o'clock Monday nights at Let It Fly. Appreciate everybody here. Great hospitality, great technology, and we look forward to.
That's the last three numbers.
Look forward to seeing everybody out there and at the game. And if you are here and you have the tickets, they give away stuff here.
Yeah, so we got giveaways going on downstairs. It's hard for us to see.
Yeah, we can't see. We got this. We're blinded by these lights and stuff, but it's great. If you're here, we'll make everybody at home jealous, giving away some stuff. Here are the ticket numbers. You'll want to come and claim your prizes. Last three numbers, 673 and 665 and 685. Once again, 673, 665, and 685. Come and claim your prizes. Jeff is down on the floor. You probably know who Jeff is. I'm sure you can hear him, if nothing else. So for everybody here, DJ K-Dub, Ricky Birds, Omaha Beef, Mike Tatum, Jason Unger, Todd Walkenhorst, J and K, personal touch. Man, they make this thing easy for us. And we look like we know what we're doing. It's really cool. We'll join you next week. We'll see you Saturday night for the Omaha